Good afternoon. Welcome to today's MIAA baseball game between the Hornets from Kalamazoo College and the Knights from Calvin University. Let's meet the starting lineups. First for the visiting Hornets. Leading off, the shortstop, number 3, Cooper Mills. Batting second in center field, number 18, Logan Lockhart. Batting third at first base, number 7, Ryer Reinhardt. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 13, Caleb Moore. Batting fifth in left field, number 10, Tanner Hawkins. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 14, David Speckow. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 23, Robert Newland. Batting eighth in right field, number 36, Dylan Rodriguez. Batting ninth, the third baseman, number 1, Cade Pricing. And the starting pitcher for the Hornets, number 24, Jacob Davis. Now here are your starters for the Knights. Leading off, the second baseman, number 7, Gabe Bonnemer. Batting second in left field, number 38, Ryan Brown. Batting third, the catcher, number 19, Ryan Schumer. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 1, Cam Seth. Batting fifth, at first base, number 2, Nate Mason. Batting sixth in center field, number 8, Matt Reynolds. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 9, Noah Swope. Batting eighth in right field, number 46, Nate Graham. Batting ninth, the third baseman, number 41, Landon McCullough. And the starting pitcher for the Knights, number 10, Nolan Coyle. At this time, we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem.
Well, a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Jeff Phoebus, Sports Information Director at Calvin University, getting set to bring you this big conference baseball matchup between the Hornets of Kalamazoo and the Knights of Calvin University. It's a hard-charging Kalamazoo team. They took care of Hope quite emphatically the other day. Went up to Holland, Michigan. And let's see, I had their score here somewhere. I thought it was 14-3. 14-3 in 7 innings. And Kalamazoo 15-5 overall and 3-1 in the MIAA. Calvin also 3-1 in the MIAA, 10-10 overall, and also coming off a Tuesday win, a big one against Alma. 6-3 was the final. Calvin's first win over Alma since 2023. So that was a nice shot in the arm for the Knights, who really needed that one, and they got it. And now they go up against a team that is considered one of the chief contenders for the MIAA title, Kalamazoo College, a team coached by former Calvin standout Mike Ott, that has been a perennial team in the top couple spots in the league. They have won some regular season championships, MIAA tournament championships, and they have been a real consistent squad, and they're pretty talented, to say the least. Nolan Coyle is the pitcher for the Knights, and it'll be up to him to try to keep this talented Kalamazoo offense at bay. I can tell you about Kalamazoo's offense just from watching them over the last number of years. They'll get you with the power game. They'll get you with the small ball game and the speed game. I have seen them bunt it 3 straight times until you can prove that you can field it. They'll steal a base. They'll hit a home run. So whatever it takes, this Kalamazoo offense is usually engineered to figure it out one way or the other. And it'll be a big, tall task here for Kelvin today in the opener of a 3-game weekend series. First pitch underway, and there's the bunt attempt. As I mentioned, that was Gabe Sokol, or beg your pardon, Cooper Mills for Kalamazoo. The shortstop, 5th-year senior out of Commerce Township, went to St. Mary's Preparatory High School. The pitch by Coyle in there for a strike. So ahead in the count, 0-2. Temps right around 50 degrees, overcast. Supposed to get some rain here beginning around 6:30. So the plan is to get this one done before the raindrops fall. Pitch in the dirt. Ryan Schumer is our catcher again today. Had a nice ball game the other day. Of course, he had a home run in that Olivet series, the first of his Kelvin career. If you go to the Kelvin Baseball Instagram feed, you can find a little synopsis of that. Kind of fun to watch. That came against Olivet last weekend. That pitch was high by Coyles, 2-2 here to the leadoff man. Get you the Kelvin defensive alignment here in a bit. And there's a shot, and speared by the shortstop. Swope, who had it played well. Cooper Mills tagged that one, but Noah Swope, who has really been a strong defensive glove, speared it and had it played well. McCullough is the third baseman for Kelvin. You got Gabe Bonnemer at second, Nate Mason at first. Ryan Schumer behind the dish for the Knights. Got to put on my reading glasses here. Here's a pitch at the knees for a strike, so 1-1. Lockhart is the batter for the Hornets, and he shoots one. Speared by Nate Mason, another web gem. Boy, he had that one played well into the hole and went up high with his 6'4" frame. Snared it, the Portage Central graduate did. And the Knights get 2 quick outs. Balls hit pretty well by Kalamazoo early on. And now here's the dangerous Ryer Reinhardt, a local product out of Grand Rapids West Catholic High School. He's been a D3Baseball.com Team of the Week selection multiple times. D3 Baseball All-American a year ago. Hard-hitting right-handed stick. Been a 3-year starter and just a junior. The pitch by Coyle. Good breaking ball in there for a strike. So that first pitch missed. So 1-1 is our count. Coyle out of Valparaiso, Indiana. And he ends up having a no pitch. So they're going to ask if that ends up being a ball. They're going to check with our home plate umpire. Now, our home plate umpire may have had time. And I think that is indeed the call. So with no men on base, if it was a live situation and there was a windup and a no pitch, it would go as a ball, but apparently time had been called. It's a strike on the outside part of the play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Mr. Reinhardt. The pitch by Coyle, and he shoots a little flare toward first base. Going to have to be, he'll be safe at first base as Mason tried to scoop it up with one hand. I think he rushed it a little bit, probably had enough time to pick it up and flip it to the pitcher Coyle, who was covering. I think that's going to go as an error. It will. And Mason, he was trying to make the play with one motion. He was trying to flip it with his glove, and just didn't quite happen. So it brings the cleanup man to the plate. Number 13, Caleb Moore, sophomore out of Pinckney, Michigan. Pitch down low, ball. Wouldn't be surprised to see Reinhardt going here with 2 outs. Pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-1. Runner holds, breaking ball is a strike in the outside part of the plate. That probably would have been a good pitch to go on. They are in the 9th inning at Comerica Park. Home opener for the Detroit Tigers. They are up 7-1 right now. Swing and a miss. And Coyle gets out of that inning without any damage being done. So in the top of the first, there's no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom of the first. 0-0 is our score. All right, I'll try to get you the lineups here for both sides. And I've got them here. First of all, Kalamazoo. Cooper Mills was the leadoff man there. He's playing short. Logan Lockhart batting second, playing center. Ryer Reinhardt, the first baseman, batting third. Caleb Moore, the cleanup man. He's the catcher for the Hornets. Batting fifth for Kalamazoo, left fielder Tanner Hawkins. Batting sixth, second baseman, number 14, David Steckow. Batting seventh, the DH, number 23, Robert Newland. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 36, Dylan Rodriguez. Batting ninth, third baseman, number 1, Cade Pricing. And pitching for the Hornets, taking his warm-ups right now, is number 24, Jacob Davis. Moving over to the Kelvin side. Leading off will be the second baseman, number 7, Gabe Bonnemer. Batting second, the left fielder, number 38, Ryan Brown. Batting third, the catcher, number 19, Ryan Schumer. The DH and in the cleanup spot, number 1, Cam Seth. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 2, Nate Mason. Batting sixth, center fielder, number 8, Matt Reynolds. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 9, Noah Swope. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 46, Nate Graham. Batting ninth, the third baseman, number 41, Landon McCullough. And the pitcher for the Knights, we're number 10, Nolan Coyle. So there you have it, the starting lineups for these teams. And we're into the bottom of the first, a scheduled 9-inning game. And 0-0 is our score. There's a high fly ball drifting down the right field line, hooking, foul, long run for it, and into the bullpen. Out of play. This will be a long foul strike. Wind is blowing toward the right field corner today. Yesterday, or beg your pardon, that was Tuesday, a couple of days ago. It was blowing from the right field corner toward the left field corner, and it shifted a bit today. So I'd say anything going out toward the right field fence and toward that flagpole is going to carry. The pitch to Bonnemer, a strike on the outside part, 0-2. Good hard fastball. And there's a shot into right field, a base hit for Gabe Bonnemer, who's on with a leadoff single against Jacob Davis. So it brings up Ryan Brown. Young man who has played some infield and now manning the outfield for the Knights. Playing out left field now. Senior out of Caledonia, former Fighting Scott. Left-handed stick. Nice to have that left-handed bat in there. You can do a little mix and match, hit and run, throw down to first, and back in time is Bonnemer. That pitch was high. Brown kind of feinted with the bat like he might bunt. Third baseman for Kalamazoo was charging hard. that being Gabe Pricing. Throw over to first, and back in time is Bonnemer. So Davis, a senior out of Perrysburg, Ohio, went to St. John's Jesuit High School. It's going to hold the man on tight. The pitch. Up high, 2-0. Everybody up in the Calvin dugout in force. Kalamazoo doing the same. A lot of energy here at the park. Breaking ball in there for a strike at the letters. 2-1. Throw over to first, and Bonnemer back in plenty of time. Set the pitch, fouled out of play. Bit of a pitcher's count, 2-2. Ground ball, chopper to third. He's going to go to second for one. In time for the out, no throw to first. Good play by Pricing at third to get it cleanly on the hop, pivot quickly, and get the lead man. So one away, brings up Ryan Schumer. Another left-handed stick. Swings and fouls it. Foul down the third base line out of play. I'll be able to retrieve that baseball. Another throw over to first. Back in time is Brown. Zero in the first between these two teams. Pitch up high. 1-1. Pitch just missed outside, delay, steal, and Brown's going to take second base. Caught everybody off guard. Nobody covering the base until it was too late. So Brown steals second, and he is in scoring position. Outfield in medium depth. You'd think a base hit would score the runner. Oh, throw over to second and safe. Oh, they had him leaning, and that throw was just off the base a bit. If that had been toward the shortstop side of the bag, I think they would have had him. That throw ended up being toward the second base side. Let's see, former Calvin head baseball coach Jeff Penninga here. Good to see him. Here's a pop-up on the infield. Should be out number 2. Pricing is there, makes the catch. 2 away.
Number 1, Cam Seth.
So Cam Seth at the plate. Young sophomore out of Grand Rapids Christian High School. Probably will see him pitch tomorrow in the doubleheader, which I will quick mention that is been moved over to Davenport University tomorrow. 1 and 4 o'clock are the scheduled game times. Throw over to second. They got him leaning. Out of there. They got him on a timing play, and he was really not that far off the base, and he just got caught unawares, if you will, and that'll be a pickoff. 1-6. Ryan Brown eliminated at second base. So at the end of 1 there for Calvin, no runs. There was 1 hit, no errors, and no one left. We head to the top of the second inning. 0-0 is our score. Nolan Coyle taking his warm-up tosses. Had a great outing last weekend in a win against Olivet. He is 3-1 on the year. 5 starts, 5 appearances, 3.18 ERA. And in that win against Olivet, he threw a shutout. It was a 5-0 Kelvin victory. Was subsequently named the MIAA Pitcher of the Week for his performances. Been part of Kelvin's Student Athlete Advisory Council. The acronym for that is SAC. And I know he enjoyed going to the NCAA convention as a SAC representative back this past January. I think that was down in Nashville, Tennessee. Joined quite a few other MIAA SAC members. He winds and delivered. Strike. The knees. The final from Comerica Park. The Tigers do defeat the Chicago White Sox 7-4. White Sox got 3 there in the 9th, but there's another strike. Breaking ball by Coyle. The Tigers do get the victory. Ground ball in the hole. Swope has it, deflects it to himself, and got him! Oh my! He kind of bobbled it, if you will, with the glove, but he bobbled it right up into his throwing hand, almost like he intentionally deflected it up there and made a strong throw to get the lead runner. That was Hawkins there. Pitch a little low. It's Steckow at the plate. Right-handed hitter. It's going to drift down that right field line and foul. Looked like a wedge shot right into the soft grass. Yeah. We're going to throw that ball in with a big piece of mud on it. We did get quite a bit of rain on Wednesday. They've done a good job, the grounds crew here at Kelvin, which comprises people in the physical plant and the athletic department, really worked hard on this field yesterday to get it prepped after the rain and storm residue that came through here. And there's another out, little ground out to the pitcher. Steckow is out number 2. So Dylan Rodriguez, no, beg your pardon. Got Robert Newland at the plate. Rodriguez is on deck. Breaking ball at the knees, in there for a strike. Kalamazoo bench wasn't so sure about that one. Coyle working quickly, here it comes. Down low, a ball, 1-1. I think the plan, pitching plan, swing and a miss by Newland for Kelvin is Steinbacher and Cam Seth tomorrow, but stay tuned on that. But yeah, they have moved that doubleheader. I mentioned that earlier to Davenport tomorrow.
Leading off game for the Knights, number 9, Noah Swope.
All right, back here at Kelvin Field, had a few technical difficulties, as they like to say, but we've got some great engineers here at Kelvin, and they were able to come on in and get things fixed. And as I say that, we've got a single in the right center field by Mr. Noah Swope, who made a great play back in the second at shortstop. Here, we'll get this out of the way here. Just cleaning out my laptop bag here. Got Dr. Jim Timmer here. We had a few technical difficulties with an audio cable, I think, that got a little bit offline, but Nate Porter came down here, and Johnny on the spot rescued us, so we're back underway. So great ball game going on right now, Jim.
It's what you'd expect. Two good ball teams. Their number one's going today. 9 innings and 2 more tomorrow. Wish it was about 10 degrees warmer, but you know what? This is MIAA baseball. This is April.
Yeah, early April at that. You know,
and the enthusiasm sometimes can overcome that. So, leadoff runner. We've had 2 of them, right?
Yeah, we have.
And so, when you have your top 2 pitchers going, runners are premium. Base running. Getting situational hitting all becomes now. If you get to the bullpens and it becomes a 3-run homer Earl Weaver game, I'm looking at as people who understand Earl Weaver, that was his offense.
Well, he had that offense to play that way too. He had the pieces, you know.
Yeah, and so moving runners along, hitting behind runners, not giving up easy outs, tough at bats, driving pitch counts up, all the things that we understand about baseball. Are going to be crucial in this game.
Swing and a miss by Makula.
Good velocity by.
Actually,
that's Graham.
Graham, Nate. Yeah, Makula's on deck.
Yeah, couple nice plays there in the last inning.
Yeah.
There was some mistake on
the pitch count. So that was strike 3 there. So Graham is out with 1 away and a runner at first base. They're holding him on.
Yep,
pretty tight.
Third baseman still playing for a bunt here.
Yeah, he's in on the skin of the grass. And Coach Skipper is not afraid to lay a bunt down, that's for sure. Neither is Coach Ott over on the Kalamazoo side. I think, both sides will use the small ball if it's there.
Yep.
The opportunity presents itself, as they like to say. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Kalamazoo. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 error so far for Kelvin. There's a foul out of play.
Yeah, he's got a fastball above his hands there.
Grounds crew has done a nice job prepping this field.
Boy,
we got quite a bit of rain on Wednesday.
It speaks to the drainage system put in here in 1996. It's still working really hard.
Yeah.
But the grounds crew and the team all working hard, and the ability to play on schedule is very important for these student athlete experience, and even be able to, for Kalamazoo College to secure Davenport tomorrow, so we can keep rolling.
Pitch down low, runner is going to hold. Yeah, I heard rumbles of snow showers next week.
Monday, right?
Yeah, which is not atypical in early April here, or any month of April in the state of Michigan. There's a shot in the center field. It's going to drop for another base hit. So the Knights getting
bottom of the order.
Yeah, they're barreling the ball up there. So 2 runners aboard with 1 out, and brings the top of the lineup, Gabe Bonnemer, who singled his first time up. Single to right center field.
Again, we just talked about it. You got to take advantage of opportunities. You get a runner at second. Boy, they're playing in with 1 out.
Real tight.
Thinking that Bonnemer may bunt, but that opens some holes up for
a
pretty good hitter.
Breaking ball outside. Well, a lot of advanced analytics and scouting, so My guess is Kalamazoo is
Boy, look how
playing their scout.
Sure, look at they haven't played right center, way over the center field.
Yep.
You can't see that at home. Left fielder pretty much straight away.
In the dirt, 2-0.
And if I was going to play Bonimer, I'd probably play him there after he's seen 4 years. He has good, his singles go to that way, his doubles.
Yeah, that oppo power.
Yep, he'll turn every once in a while. He'll turn on it when you make it, but got to be patient here.
Another feint to second. Bonheimer was, or was that Ryan
was
Brown?
Brown.
It was Ryan Brown that got
picked
picked off at second. Bonheimer was forced out at second, and then Ryan Brown later at second was picked off a second. Down and away, 3-0.
Yeah,
They were pitching him down and away.
This is a take, I think. Right,
Yeah, I
in this
agree.
game. It was particularly the way Bonheimer's hitting this year. You take, there's situationals that you might give a 3-0 green light, but not here, I don't think.
Pitch by Davis, and that's high. That would have been a little tempting.
Yeah.
That fastball down the middle, but a bit high, and the bases are loaded for Mr. Ryan Brown. Other MIAA games going here, and
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about
I'm going to try to pull those up. Going through some of the other weekend activity, and then our power went out, so breaking ball in there for a strike. So after 4 straight balls, Davis comes back.
Yeah, with the breaking ball for a
Yep.
strike, sometimes that slows you down, right? You start concentrating on your technique, and when you're just trying to pump fastballs, and they kind of get away from you. Good base running by the Knights.
In the dirt, good block by Moore, the catcher.
Yeah, you can count on a couple things with Coach Ott's teams, right? He's going to have a good defensive catcher. I think as a former pitcher,
Yep.
here
He's going to value that
he's
really
gonna
high.
value that, right? And they're going to be aggressive on the base pass, and they're going to be good hitting ball club.
Swinging a foul, had a pretty good pitch to swing at. Olivet's at Adrian, Trines at Albion, and Elma is at Hope.
Tell you, you're going to have to get in your emergency stances. Like to think here, right? 1-2. You're going to try to put this one in play best you can.
Well, it's got a gap there between third and short. There's a ground ball off the first baseman's
Boy,
glove.
this is going to be a mess.
They're going to throw down to second. I don't think he ever stepped on the bag at first base.
No, he did not. He's safe at first.
Yeah. And Brown
We're gonna
is
get a
going to
run here.
stay at first base, and I think
He missed it.
yeah, now they're coming to cover home plate. So a runner came across, and they're going to rule. They're going to have a discussion on whether.
So he dropped the line drive, Jeff, and
Yep.
then it looked like he started at first base. I don't think I'm a Calvin Knight, right? I don't think he hit the base and
Nope.
then threw to second, which
Nope.
then they ruled him out on the tag. And so I think we're going to be right here. He's out at second,
Yep.
which actually wouldn't even need a tag, right?
Right.
He didn't need a tag.
Nope.
So all said and done, the Knights going to have a 1-run lead here with Ryan Schumer up.
Yeah, they get the one run. I mean, he was like a half step shy of touching the bag, and I don't know if he kind of lost where the base was and thought that he was on top of the bag, but he planted and threw to first, and I'm like, he did not step on the bag there.
Right. Credit Ryan Brown for running it out.
Yeah, so
right?
it'll be a fielder's choice, and I think a run batted in. Or, well, I'll have to look at.
So good.
Yeah, I think that's an RBI.
Good 2-strike at bat right there, and Coach Ott's probably wondering why we got such a good pitch at 1-2, but being aggressive, and then Schumer could add to the.
He could. Ooh, little off-speed pitch in the outside part of the plate. 1-1. 2 runners aboard still at the corners, first and third. Got Brown at first, not much of a lead. McCullough's at third. High and away, 2-1. Breaking ball in there at the letters for a strike. 2-2 with 2 away. Might have the runner going, although it's not a guarantee at first base on this play.
I think you're going to give Schumer a chance.
And there's a high fly ball out toward right. Underneath it is Rodriguez. He's got him played and makes the catch on the run. Kind of got the hands out a little bit too much in front. Gave it a bit of a ride. And the Knights settle for 1. So at the end of 3 innings, the Knights leading at 1-0. They get 1 hit. No errors and 2 runners left aboard. Headed to the top of the 4th again. Kelvin leading at 1-0.
Okay, you guys can hear it now.
Other MIAA baseball scores. We'll try to get to those. Alma up 1-0 on Hope in the top of the 3rd. Let's see. Trine is at Albion. Full MIAA slate this afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight, packed race, I think, at the top. And I also think to try to get one of those 4 coveted playoff spots. And right now, you kind of put your head down and see if you can win as many series as you possibly can.
Well, Albion's up 3-0 on Trine. I think Albion's a much improved team. It's been a while since they've kind of been in the mix for one of the top 4 spots in the league. But,
new coach, right?
Yeah. Well, I think they got Coach Ricks.
Right.
Maybe still interim head coach. He's been there, obviously, previously the head coach at Kalamazoo.
Right here in front of us, yeah.
Yeah. So, not a stranger to being a head coach. Olivet up 1-0 in the 4th at Adrian.
And knows the league, Coach Ricks does.
He does. So there's your scores from around the league. I think when I was back in the 2nd when we lost our power, was going through some of the Kelvin sports action this weekend. Track and field's going on right now. I'll be trying to track that a little bit. I got a son running at about 6:45.
Men's golf down at Illinois
Wesleyan. Men's golf, Illinois Wesleyan. Volleyball finishing out its season this weekend, hosting Wittenberg tonight at 7. Mount St. Joe tomorrow at 1. Both those matches at Vennord Arena. Men's lacrosse at home tomorrow against Hope at 1. Women's lacrosse goes down to Kalamazoo. Softball at home at 1 o'clock for a doubleheader against Adrian.
A good Adrian softball team.
Well, Adrian's always has been good for a number of years now. So, yeah, but this is a really good team. So a Coyle leadoff pitch is skied.
Boy, this is going to be it looks like a
long run. Mason calling it off and makes the catch. So
boy,
one pitch and 1 out.
What I liked about that is you saw McCullough, you saw Swope, you saw Mason, you had Coyle, who's an upperclassman covering first base. The Knights executed that well.
So, let me ask you something, Jim. That's a long run for all these fielders to make. There's the old axiom that the pitcher needs to get out of the way and not catch the pop-up. Why can't the pitcher make that play?
So, you know what, they can. And a lot of times, maybe they've grown up playing different positions. I was never, wow, that's well struck, but.
Got underneath it a little bit, so yeah. Reynolds going to be underneath for out number 2.
Well, and so back to the pitcher, right? They don't get as many reps. They're working on other things,
sure.
Right? So your infielders are getting more pop-ups, more ground balls. So if we cannot have the pitcher field, it's just a matter of, that we've done reps. And as Reynolds corrals that one in center field, nice play. I'm still a two-handed catch guy. I will be, but yeah. I'm old, so as long as
Chet Lemon seemed to bring in that one-handed catch in the center field area there, and it's kind of been that way ever since, I guess. But yeah, I'm with you. So Stecco at the plate, first pitch a ball, second pitch a strike, 1-1. Looks like Adrian has taken a 2-1 lead over Olivet now in the bottom of the 4th.
And that one's at Adrian.
It is, yep. Down low, 2-1.
Both pitchers working quickly.
Yep, they are. Real quick tempo. It's been, I don't know if I have seen more than a couple of pitches by either where they have waited until there's under 10 on the pitch clock.
And I don't know the camera angle you're getting. Coyle is doing some really interesting stuff, right? He's pitching from the stretch right now, what normally would be with a pitcher, but then he will also go with a windup. So he's got some little, I'm not saying trickery, but I think he's versatile.
Yeah.
And so he's been going from different pitches and
different deliveries and angles and all that.
Exactly. Different pace.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and there's a breaking ball. Oh, that was nasty. And Coyle strikes out the third hitter, Steckow. So through the top of the 4th, Hornets go down in order, headed to the bottom of 4. Kelvin leading at 1-0.
I'm going to try to get an update on the number of pitches each from Mike Gibbons here, so we can kind of track that a little bit in our head.
Major League Baseball scoreboard updates here. Red Sox leading the Cardinals 11-6 in the 8th. Cubs are up still 3-1 in the 9th against the Padres. The Mets lead the Blue Jays 2-0 in the top of the 6th. Athletics and Rockies 1-1 in the top of the 3rd. Top of the 2nd, Yankees 2-0 over the Pirates. Mariners have a 1-0 lead in the top of the 1st against the Giants, and those are our active games right now in Major League Baseball.
So Coyle's at 52 pitches through 5, right?
Through 4.
Through 4. That's good.
Pretty efficient, yeah.
Yep.
Davis is, he's probably, I could look
42.
Yeah, 42. So he's in the same ballpark. Knights have, let's see, 5, 6, 7 due, or 4, 5, 6 due up. Got Cam Seth, then Nate Mason, and I think Matt Reynolds.
So lefty, righty, and Cam DH, I assume.
He is.
And that's and probably would be in the bullpen a little bit, right? Where you do that, not double switch, but you list him as a DH. You can bring him in as a pitcher, and he still hits. He'd be one of the candidates in the bullpen, which just did a great job against Alma. But see if you can get us another leadoff runner to work with.
Good pitch by Davis in there for a strike.
Both pitchers classic, just right hand, good fundamentals.
Yep. There's the swing and a foul, and again, second straight at bat that Seth has been behind, 0-2, as Davis is getting ahead in the count. You know, he got a little wild in the last inning, but he's pouring it in there on pitch number 1.
Yep, and both pitches, right? A curveball and a fastball.
Ground ball to second, and
Coyle,
it's up with it.
And Coyle doing the same thing, right? So good pitchers are able to, you're sitting on that. You don't want to be behind in the count, so you can't sit dead on a fastball first pitch hitting. And they both are breaking off curveballs or off-speed pitches and then coming back with fastballs. And so, right, they're breaking their own tendencies. And, and for hitters, that makes them difficult to hit.
Mason lines it down the right field line, drifting down the line, and foul. That wind pushing it away from the right fielder, Rodriguez.
Boy, Jeff, I can't help. I was in a meeting today and seen some of the pictures or renderings of our football stadium that's going to be out in center field.
Beyond center field.
Beyond center field here. And what a complex it will be. And so very excited about that, and I think it'll even add to the baseball experience.
The pitch by Davis, and in there for a strike.
Yeah, boy, he's working from ahead.
Well, he's starting to get back into that groove. He had that breaking ball after throwing 4 straight pitches for a walk. Then he threw that breaking ball for a strike, and boy, he's been back into a rhythm ever since.
I honestly, I think some of his command, he's commanding his breaking pitches probably a little better right now than his fastball in the middle innings here.
There's a shot foul toward the bullpen area. Ball and 2 strikes. Kind of a cool, damp, overcast Friday afternoon.
Nice crowd, though.
Yep, very nice crowd. Kalamazoo brought a good crowd. Kelvin's got a good crowd. And a chopper off Nate Mason will be foul. And see some older Kelvin baseball connections. Coach Pettinga is here. Of course, he coached Mike Ott, and of course, he coached the Knights. So, he's here. I saw the father of Matt Schmitz, who was a great pitcher for Kelvin, 98 to 2002, and that was during the Mike Ott era. So, you see some of these former Kelvin people come back to see a little bit of everything. Pitch outside, a ball.
Good at bat by
2-2. Yep.
To fight back here a little bit, make him work so it's not such a quick inning, and try to get something started.
Ground ball out towards short. Nice backhanded play. One hops over to first base on the throw in time for the out. 2 away. That was Cooper Mills making the play out there at short. Brings up Matt Reynolds. Reynolds had that nice safety squeeze on Tuesday. Ends up going as a sacrifice bunt, and he got an RBI out of it. First pitch is in there, breaking ball, strike.
The Hornets, 15-5, 3-1 in the conference.
That's correct.
Looking for another 21 season, 31 season they've had over there. That's
Here's
going to get
liner.
down the line.
Let's see if it stays fair. No, just foul.
Boy.
Yeah, everything's blowing away from the corner there. Hope and Elma now 1-1 in the top of the fourth.
And
Albion still up 3-0 in the bottom of the fourth against Trine. Adrian now up 3-1 on Olivet. Pitch outside. 1-2. This game moving along here, about 52, 53 minutes old. Davis and a nasty breaking ball, and no chance for Reynolds there. He swings and misses. So the Knights retired in order. Davis in a groove. Knights lead it 1-0. We head to the top of 5. It's the Hornets coming to the plate.
Tigers off to a 7-2 win? Did they get that today?
It was a 7-4 win for the Detroit Tigers. Kenta Maeda made things a little interesting late in the game. And Will Vest came in to shut the door after it was 7-1 with the Tigers. Kerry Carpenter had a couple of home runs. I think Riley Green had a home run.
Torkelson?
No home runs for Torkelson, although he did have a base hit. So
Keith was 1 for 4 last time I checked.
Yeah, didn't make any miscues at second base, unlike the other day.
Yep, Sweeney.
Yeah, they're doing it without Parker Meadows and Matt Vierling. Meadows is the guy I think they missed the most there. He covers so much ground in center field and came on and swung the bat well down the stretch, and probably going to be out probably until June, maybe late May. You know, they're saying a nerve issue with his elbow.
Yeah, Torres hasn't playing.
Yeah, no. So, you know, they're doing it without some key pieces. Of course, they played a long time without Kerry Carpenter last year. They're just talking about him on the radio. If they could get him 500 at-bats or more, that'd be a huge bonus. He had that stress fracture in his back last year. You know, my own son had to deal with that when he was in high school, so I know that is not a fun situation, and the only thing that heals it is rest. So David Steckow is at the plate, second baseman.
300 hitter. And we're gonna play him, try to take away the bunt at third, deep everywhere else around.
He's out of Oakland, Michigan.
Boy, Mike's done a nice job recruiting the eastern side of the state.
Yep. That pitch was a ball. He showed bunt, pulled the bat back, and looked like it was just outside. Yeah, Steckow is right on top of the plate. Ground ball chopper, and there's the pitcher fielding his position. Coyle over to first in time for the out. Boy, he had some movement on that pitch, and Steckow just did not barrel it up, did he?
Nope. And it goes to command. We hear that word a lot. It's not just throwing the command is not throwing strikes. Command is throwing strikes where you want them.
Yep.
You also hear hitting your spots, and both pitchers seem to have that today. And it's a pitcher's kind of day, cold and damp. If they can keep their hands warm, they feel. They
have the advantage.
They have the advantage because the hitters.
And quickly ahead in the count is Coyle on Newland, another one of those east side of the state guys out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Bloomfield Hills high school grad. Junior. Coyle ready to go and down and away.
That's pretty. I'm sure you spoke about this earlier in the broadcast. Some impressive offensive numbers. 554, 525, 425, 410. Coyle doing a nice job keeping them at bay.
There's a
I don't know if he's
foul.
going to have a room, but he's got a shot.
Yeah, that's going to be into the batting cage, out of play there.
Young man from Traverse City will go home with that one.
Yeah. Ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Knights lead it 1-0. A fielder's choice play, kind of an odd play. The lone scoring play thus far. Bases were loaded, and Kalamazoo first baseman thought he had stepped on first while trying to get a double play and never stepped on the bag, and that allowed the runner to come home from third when they only got just 1 of the 2 outs. Ended up getting the runner at second, but did not get the runner at first. That pitch just missed. 2-2. Coyle again, chopper up the middle, charging hard. Bonnemer, he's there, over to first in time. Boy, that infield has been really good for Calvin. Looked really good on Tuesday, and so far has been airtight right now. 2 away. Here in the 5th inning, Rodriguez is at the plate out of Valparaiso, Indiana. I'm going to guess that he might have been a teammate of Mr. Coyle, who is also a Valparaiso High School alum. Can't say I have delved into that connection, but just looking at their hometown and high school there, they're both out of Valparaiso, Indiana, and Valparaiso High School. And
we'll have to ask Nolan.
Yeah, absolutely. First pitch was a strike and a little low and away there, 1-1.
See all the ready to pitch. I like that. Keep the defense on their toes. 2 breaking balls in a row. Maybe he knows something we don't know. He's
down low.
Challenge him here with nobody out and or with 2 outs, nobody on. I meant to say.
Ground ball down the line and foul.
It
looked like it was going to be fair and hooked right at the last moment. So 2-2 on Mr. Rodriguez. Comes in batting .500. Now this is just the 5th game of the year for him.
Yeah.
1 for 2 coming into today.
And maybe hitting today because he knows Coyle.
Yep, you would think that might be the connection.
Choked up. You don't see that often.
No, you don't. Ground ball in the hole, and it's Makula there on his knees, down to first. Oh, and it gets away from Mason. Backing up the play is the catcher Schumer, so they'll hold the runner at first. Might end up going as a single. Yep.
Yeah.
Their scoreboard says base hit. And I think that is indeed the right call.
Yeah,
it's been a really tough play.
Sure. And boy, you, having played the left side of the infield, right? And McCullough made a great play, and you're trying to say to yourself, "Man, I should have got up," or you're saying, getting a throw over there faster. Or do I get up and throw it? And trying to figure out how much time you have, and it's just a gut feeling and. Hindsight is 20/20. Maybe he should have got to his feet and thrown it there, but no harm, no foul. Great play.
Swing and a miss by Pricing, the left fielder, batting .354. Coming into today, 1 home run, 2 doubles, 23 hits, and 65 trips to the plate.
Knights playing deep in the middle infield and pinch to the middle a little bit. Bonnemer is.
Swing and a miss. Had a little break on that one. Slider looked like 0-2. See if he comes back with a fastball or if he goes out of the strike zone here. See if the runner is going as well.
I'm going to say out of the strike zone.
And you are correct.
And sometimes, and to your point, it's also sometimes you're thinking we could sneak one over. It's going to probably be low and away in the dirt. If the catcher misses, I'm there. Both teams are playing that game in their head. Now he'll go and attack him, and we'll see what they're going to come back to. It seemed to be something hard and inside if you're going low and away.
Fly ball, got underneath it a bit, and underneath it is Brown.
Yep.
And he'll make the catch. So no harm done there. The Hornets strand 1 runner. They get 1 hit, but do not score. We head to the bottom of 5. Kelvin leads it 1-0. Yeah, well, getting back to you're talking about the football stadium. I know the football team will be very excited about getting some on-campus facilities there. They already have some. Let's not pretend that they don't. They got the nice lockers there that went in over the summer, and the plan is
could they have the coaches' suite or the football suite?
Yeah, and the football suite, and some other areas now down below where some of the other assistant coaches are set up. But when you do have the kind of damp, cold weather that we have here in the Midwest, both in the fall and in the spring, and you have a contact sport like that where big bodies are moving around, it's hard to keep turf or grass, when I say turf, in good enough condition to keep playing on, especially when it's wet. So,
well, another thing we experienced, Jeff, along with that is, we play into the mid-November.
That's right, just for regular season.
And now with the daylight savings, the time falling back on the first, October 30, November 1, and the way our class,
it's dark by about 5:30 or so.
Sure, and our class schedule, which is a change that Calvin made to 2-hour and 4-hour credit classes, pushes classes. Our practices used to start around 3:15. Now they start around 4:15.
Yep.
And so, as you're trying to prepare for those games, we have actually brought down construction lights here for a couple practices, and then that didn't really work as well as we needed to. So we're going to be excited that there's lights in here next year.
Yep, looking forward to that. Pitch down low, a ball by Davis. Noah Swope leading it off.
This is the group that got base runners that produced the run.
Yep. Swope out of Kalamazoo area. Takes a pitch up high.
He's
1-1, or 2-0, beg your pardon.
Yeah. Throwing more balls to the bottom of our order.
Yep. There's a little dribbler out towards second base. Steckow is there. Flips it over to first in time for the out.
He pulled off that one just a little bit. I think as he matures as a hitter, right? He gets a 2-0 pitch, and you're sitting there saying, I'm going to get my pitch, and the college pitcher is not going to just give in right down the middle.
Yep.
And so that ball has to be driven to right center field. Going first pitch, breaking pitch a lot.
Yeah, and it's in there for a strike. He likes it. He's got good command of it.
Yeah. This is Graham.
There's a fly ball, well hit out toward right field. Well hit, going way out there, and it is
over his head
against the fence. He is going to round second. He's going to head for third.
It's going to be close.
And he will be in with a head first slide without a throw. A triple, and he got it up into the jet stream, and that thing just kept carrying. Now you have, Dr. Timmer, you have the number 9 hitter with one out. Is this where you think about the old safety squeeze?
Well,
Or is that going to take the bat out of the hands of maybe Gabe Bonnemer?
Well, 18.
They're going to play the infield in tight. Well, they're all going to have a conversation here as Kalamazoo pitching coach comes out.
And no one warming up.
Nope.
Unless you count somebody here in the.
No, there is someone throwing a little bit, but I'm not sure that is a pitcher.
No, but he's got plenty of juice left, right? I mean,
yep.
He's got to be in the 50s or 60s. What they're looking out there right now, they're looking at
66 is his pitch count.
How they want to attack this. They know Bonnemer's on deck. They're not in this situation going to put a runner on. Here's a question that Coach Ott's got to answer. Would you play the infield in? Is this going to be an important run? It doesn't really hurt you in terms of a big inning, right? A big inning, but if a ground ball goes past the pitcher, a run scores. Are you going to concede that? But if they play in, they're going to try to cut down the runner at the plate. It gives Makula some advantage there now.
Well, they're going to play in at the corners,
right? So they're saying we're going to score a couple runs here. We're not going to get shut out.
Yep.
Right. If they feel like, hey, they're facing Verlander on his best days, so they're trying to prevent the big inning, and they're playing for the squeeze.
And there is a bunt. It's to first base. He bobbles it, and he is home with a run. Throw down to first. Got him. I think if that first baseman
picks it up
cleanly, he's got him at the plate.
Yeah.
Reinhardt at first base, and
Joel's going to come out and talk to Joel's going to come out, and he wants to see
if he came off the bag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he motioned to.
Well, it was the second baseman that had to make the catch.
And he's going to ask if the home plate. Now, the home plate umpire might have been distracted at the plate.
So they're going to talk to the home plate umpire.
That's all he's going to ask. And that's a 3-person crew. And I think we're not going to win this one. I think this person's going to be out, right?
So that'll be a sacrifice bunt.
But good job, right?
Yeah.
It probably bunted it a little hard, but there's a pressure there. And
but he didn't hit it right back to the pitcher.
No, exactly.
Not sure that was the suicide squeeze version, a safety squeeze. Like if that had been the suicide version where he's going on the pitch, he would have been in walking or standing up. But
that's why it's tough to defend. They knew it. They were playing their corners in, and you force the action there a little bit by not, a little
that's
small
a big run.
Yep.
A ball and a strike. Down low, 2-1.
So that bottom of the order has produced some scoring opportunities and cashed in a couple of times. So the strategy, back and forth we go.
Pitch up high, 3-1 to Bonhomer. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for Kalamazoo. 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for Kelvin. The pitch, strike at the knees. That's a good hard fastball. Good. Spotted it perfectly.
Yeah, firm. Right, because Bonhomer was sitting on it, but again, that's the thing. It's not just going to be right down the middle in college. They're gonna try to catch a corner of that plate on 3-1.
Full count pitch, and that's in the dirt. Maybe overthrew that one a little bit. So now Bonhomer's aboard and starting to bump that pitch count up a little bit.
Sure, and Gabe, good wheels. I'm looking, he's 8 for 9.
And you got the left-handed hitter at the plate.
And one of the things that can you grab another run here by getting the runner down to second and knocking him in for a 3-0 lead. If he gets thrown out, Brown leads off the next inning. So I would not be surprised if at some point you see either a hit and run and or a straight steal by Bonhomer.
Got a decent lead at first. Strike right down the middle. First pitch fastball.
And particularly if he gets behind in the count, you're like, hey, I'll start my at-bat over, even if I get thrown out. If I don't, they got to make them execute, just like we did on the safety squeeze. We had to make them execute.
Set the pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Good pitch, and it's 0-2. Got to think he's going to be going here.
Yeah, I think he might just to reset Brown and maybe thinking that my ball might be in the dirt because he's going to not throw a strike here. Tougher to throw out.
And he is going. Second baseman is there, though. And over to first, Steckow makes the play, and the Hornets get out of the inning. But not before the Knights get another run on the safety squeeze by Landon McCullough. Knights do strand a runner, but they add 1 run to the tally. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Calvin leads it 2-0. Well, last game, I was talking a little bit about Joel Skipper's background, and of course his father, Jim Skipper, a tremendous basketball player, league MVP, excellent baseball player as well, played shortstop, first base, all that type of thing. But let's not forget that his mother, Leah, who I see walking around nervously here down below, probably trying to keep warm, was a tremendous athlete herself, All-American volleyball player. You saw her play. She was on that team that went all the way to the national championship game, 1986, and her sister Laurel was also a great player. So she's very involved as an athletic mother.
Yep, she from San Marcos, Texas. Now what they call Texas State. Their father was a dean of the health down there. That's Joel's grandfather, and Leah and Laurel Kelsbeek came up and played volleyball. Laurel was a freshman or sophomore on that 86 team.
Yep.
She played undersized middle, if Laurel's listening. Married Dave Petno, one of our soccer players, and their son, Braden, played in the national championship for Akron.
Okay.
In soccer. We had recruited him as well, but ended up staying close to home. They're from Hudson, Ohio, where Cuyahoga Valley Community or Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, which we've had some really nice players up here. But great family, great Calvin support. Of course, Joel went to kick and play baseball because we didn't have for football at the time, and glad to have him back in the fold as a generational Calvin supporter. So there we go. And the late, I'm calling them late innings. I'll call it seventh inning, middle innings. We're in the sixth here.
Yeah, top of the sixth inning. Leadoff man here for the Hornets is Mills. First pitch a little low. Mills 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Pitch by Coyle in there for a strike.
We are taking away the bunt and playing them to.
They're not playing them to pull it down the line.
No, we are not playing no doubles defense for sure.
No, Makula is shaded well toward shortstop. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Had him handcuffed a bit. 1-2.
Now he'll back up just a tad, still covering that hole because 2 strikes, and Reynolds takes a step towards that right center field gap.
And there is a little looper and smothered by Mason, and they say caught it.
And he did a nice job showing the umpire the baseball there.
Another one of those soft line drives in the first inning. Kelvin snagged a couple of those. Mason had one of the one he made in the first inning was a soft line drive that he went up the ladder to snag.
Yeah.
That one he went down in the dirt and picked it out. So 1 away. Here in the sixth, Lockhart at the plate, swing and a miss.
Hold the chain a little bit on that one. Boyd Coyle's got good arm action today. His curveball, his fastball, and his off-speed stuff all look like it's coming from the same tempo.
Well, and here's another one that I missed, but Logan Lockhart is another Valparaiso High School graduate. So you got 2 of Coyle's former teammates, I'm assuming, batting against him in this Kalamazoo lineup. Down and away, so 2-1. Lockhart 0 for 2 in the afternoon. Ryer Reinhardt is on deck. The pitch, and there is a shot, and that was a scalded dog into left field. And the Hornets have a base runner. Third hit of the game for Kalamazoo. He sat on a fastball and hit it about as hard as you could hit it. Smashed it off the tee, as they like to say. And it brings up the dangerous Ryer Reinhardt.
Right. Arguably the best hitter in the league, right?
Yeah.
7 home runs, 425.
He can put it over the fence just like that. It will pitch to him carefully. Strike in the outside part of the plate. Little breaking ball action.
I think a West Catholic graduate.
Yeah, he is.
Played third his freshman year. I think was MVP as a third baseman. Then had kind of an injury-plagued sophomore year, but it looks like he is back in full action.
Well, you played against West Catholic, as did I in high school. And back in the day, the varsity played at the old Valley Field, now called Sullivan Field. But West Catholic's got a pretty nice setup on their own campus now, their own baseball field.
Yeah.
So I was just out there last spring.
Shout out to their athletic director, Angelique Gaddy. I don't know her married name, but.
It's a fastball in there for a strike, 1-2. Yeah, I think it's the Holy Spirit Cemetery that's right next door to the athletic complex at West Catholic, and the former heavyweight champion of the world, Stanley Ketchel, is buried in that cemetery back in the early 1900s.
We almost have a shift on as you look at look at Bonhomer. He's with second base,
almost standing behind it,
and deep. If he has a mile where he can go to the right side if he wants to. And of course, it has to be coordinated with your pitch selection and calls.
In the dirt, and a good pickup by Schumer. Runner holds.
So one of the things, like, even if I say with a power hitter like this, if you entice him to go the other way, you're still better off, right? A single through the right side versus a double in the gaps. But you have to coordinate how you're going to throw, where your pitches are going to be with your defense. So he's working inside here.
Swing and a miss.
Wow.
Nasty breaking ball. He was way out in front. And that was that arm action, Jim.
Yes.
Had him fooled. 2 away.
So now we might see the same thing that the Knights, although being down 2, are they willing to give up an out? Reinhardt at Or not Reinhardt. Who's at first over there?
Lockhart.
Lockhart. I'm just looking at his stolen base numbers here. He's 6 for 6.
Pitch outside a ball. Not giving him anything to drive.
It's going to be interesting decisions as these pitch counts climb.
And Coyle shaking off the signs there. And he came with a
good job
overhand curveball.
By Schumer.
Yeah. 2-0.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jim. Now, is there some type of communication between home plate and the dugout and the catcher's helmet?
Yes. They do have a comm system, or at least I paid for one. Let's see.
Check swing. That'll be a strike. So it's probably in our situation, probably our pitching coach is the one making
Patrick.
And I think I saw in the national anthem time, Mike Ott had the earpiece in his ear there. So him being the former pitcher, I'm sure he is calling the pitches.
We'll get into it in between innings, but a great story about Cal Ripken calling the pitches for Big McDonald circulating this week. And those are two names that people probably don't recognize, but you and I do.
Yep.
This is a big pitch right here.
Yep. 2-1 with 2 outs. Here it comes. A strike at the knees. Oh.
That was a little low. But
yeah, we'll take it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Oh, we'll see if they run here a little bit.
The catcher more at the plate. Yeah, they might. Nope. Fly ball, shallow. Going to have to charge hard. Center fielder coming hard.
Oh,
and I think our shortstop Swope snagged it out of the air.
No big deal. Casual.
Reynolds was sliding. I think he was prepared to catch it, and Swope just kind of snagged it, swoped it out of the air, if I can make that a new verb. He swoped it out of the air, did Noah. And did it very casually. Thank you very much. No damage done.
The innocence of youth. The freshman making a big play there in the 6th.
Well, you like to see the assertiveness, though, by a shortstop like that, especially when they're young.
Yep.
So, you're talking about the Ripken story.
So, part of this pitch clock, right? So, at home we've been referencing a pitch clock. We have 2 pitch clocks going. It's reset by the umpires to try to keep the game moving. It came down from the major leagues all the way through. So, to hurry on, the coach is calling the pitches, and then the catcher calls it out to the batter or the pitcher. The comm system, they can talk to the catcher, say, hey, fastball inside. The catcher relays that to the pitcher. So pitch calling by coaches. Ben McDonald's a big right-hander from LSU, pitching a high draft pick, maybe number 1, right? First round, first guy. He's in the big leagues, and he's struggling. And Ripken, who's a baseball computer by himself, longtime shortstop, told him and a rookie catcher, hey, look, I'll call the pitches. And I don't know exactly how he did, but he would relay what pitch the catcher would then throw. And McDonald said in an interview, he said, he did that whole year until I learned how to pitch. So, knowing the hitters, knowing situations, Ripken was one of those baseball savants. Having brought up around the game with his dad.
Never went into coaching or managing.
No.
His dad, of course, was a coach and manager for a short spell as a manager. And his brother Billy might have been a coach or an instructor for a while.
There we go, Schumer to lead off.
Fastball at the knees, a strike. As we are in the bottom of the 6th inning with Calvin leading it 2-0. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Calvin. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for the Hornets. Shot in the right field, and that will fall for a base hit for Ryan Schumer. His first hit of the afternoon.
Well, you getting those A.J. Hint situations, right? Your number 4 hitter and left-hander. Do you move him on for another run? You don't have – I'm not saying all apologies to the Schumer family. I don't think Ryan's our fastest
Well,
runner.
I've watched some high school baseball. You know, my son has been the courtesy runner for the catcher. So my first instinct was, after watching all these high school games so far, is, oh, who's the courtesy runner? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's college baseball. So
Yeah,
got to be a little bit more strategic.
I like that participatory model there in high school, but here I think it makes you think. Now, third baseman's playing for the sacrifice bunt. I think he's going to have Cam hit away. I really do. He's going to say, hey, we got two, the way Coyle's pitching, but he's got to also think about pitch count.
Yep.
A lot of things going on. That's why you and I love baseball, right?
That's right. You're constantly thinking.
I'm trying to think out ahead, and I see some stirring in the bullpen. That's just, and you got to see what we can do here. So 1-1.
Davis at 78 pitches right now. There's a chopper. The pitcher's going to, off his glove. It's going to be a tough play at first base. He got him. Got him by a step. That's a great recovery by Davis. It does move Schumer on to second base. But
just as good as a bunt.
Yep.
I thought we might have had first and second there, but
Davis did a great job to recover after that one kind of deflected off of his glove, got it on the run, spun, and got him with an accurate throw.
So here we're saying pitchers can't field earlier in the game, and he makes probably one of the plays of the game. Well, let's see if Nate Mason, a fourth-year senior, fifth-year senior, see if he can come up with a big hit. Now, he's got to be thinking, they may be pitching around me.
Had a hit last time up.
Yeah, they got a base open, and sure enough, they start with a breaking pitch.
Yep, down low.
And on deck is Matt Reynolds, the center fielder, who was involved in that near bloop single. Schumer's
doesn't have a big lead. Down low, 2-0.
Right, they're going to try to keep him close. So even but boy, they're playing deep in the outfield.
Yep,
at least left field and center field. On a cold day, so
base hit. It's probably going to score Schumer out in the left field at least
if he can get a good jump.
Here's a fastball or a curveball in there for a strike.
It's kind of been his go-to pitch when he needed one.
Yeah, he's been able to get the old spin rate going on his curve on a cold day. Throw over to second, and boy, he wasn't more than a step and a half off the bag. But just enough to keep him honest.
You get somebody picked off in the first inning, no one wants to be the second guy picked off second, right?
In there for a strike, another breaking ball.
Yeah, I think he was thinking fastball. He was out ahead of that a little bit. You could see when his lead leg landed, his hands had come forward. He's got to keep your hands back, even if you get out in front of it, to be able to slap that curveball.
That one's in the dirt, gets away. Schumer's going to run.
It's aggressive.
Throw down to third, and he's in there.
Aggressive base running with a two-run lead. I love it, right? Again, they force the action both on the squeeze play and that one. And right now,
another big run out there. Just got to try to put this in play if you're Mason. Now they're in tight all the way around.
Yep. And, they know there's no squeeze here coming because with 2 strikes, you wouldn't risk that. But fly ball here, Nate. Fly ball is what we need.
For a hard chopper. Well, there it is. Fly ball out toward right. Got to think that's got a chance to score him from third.
This is going to be
Rodriguez
close.
Has it. Long throw to the plate, and he is safe. That throw was a bit high. Catcher couldn't. He was trying to grab it and come down with the tag in one play. I think if that throw was a little bit lower, he's probably out.
Yeah, and I was thinking here, right, it's going to be close. And the reason it's going to be close is he didn't have to worry about a cutoff man. Now, that's also why it's high, because no other runners on place. That's when you get these great throws when you're like, hey, I don't have to hit a cutoff man here. Either way, I got the out.
Yep.
Good job by Nate Mason. Ryan Schumer's aggressive base running. Here were you saying about
you typically have your best throwing arm in the outfield, in right field.
Yeah, it's Rodriguez out there from Valparaiso High School.
Yeah. So 3-0 the Knights. Scratch across another run, a big one there. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Matt Reynolds at the plate. That pitch down low, a ball. Pitch count now at 87 on Mr. Davis.
Yeah, I don't know if they got bullpen working out there. We got to remember binoculars next time.
Yeah. And a shot to the first baseman, Reinhardt, and he'll go down low and make the grab. So the side is retired, but not before the Knights get another run. We head to the top of the 7th inning. It's Calvin 3 and Kalamazoo nothing. Other MIAA baseball scores. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Adrian leads Olivet 5-1. Over at Albion, they're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Albion leads Trine 4-0. And I think they're now in the top of the 6th. I'm refreshing that. It looks like Hope is up 2-1 in the top of the 6th over Elma. So there is your score update in MIAA baseball. Final Four women's basketball tonight on the D1 side, Jim. We have the 4th meeting of the year between South Carolina and Texas. That's 7 o'clock tip.
With these big conferences, you're going to have that more.
Yeah, you are. You are. And then the 9:30, 9:40-ish game, one I'm kind of looking forward to seeing. We'll try to catch UCLA going up against UConn. UCLA, it's been really good this year.
Betts.
With Lauren Betts and UConn with Paige Beckers. And, boy, Gino Oriema, you know, he's a polarizing figure. You love him or you hate him. But that guy is really good with the X's and O's. And his teams are always well prepared, rarely beat themselves. You got to beat them. So that should be a great matchup.
Right. So UConn, the only number 2 seed to get in there, and heard her interview earlier. Somebody said, I think it was Scott Van Pelt talking about him being an underdog. And a lot of times when UConn is never the underdog, although
I think they've made the Final Four all but like 3 of the last 25, 26 years. It's insane.
It's crazy. But they're going to have their, Betts is a problem. And UConn necessarily does not. Schwartz is their center, not playing. She's really good, but she's not. There's some foul trouble there. But Paige is a problem. And, of course, Dawn Staley and Vic Schaefer leading Texas, South Carolina, that could be a rock fight. And when I'm talking about a 54-52 game.
Could be. Pitch up high, a ball. You know, I remember, I don't know if that was the year that Michigan State won the national title under Izzo. It was Wisconsin and Michigan State. Dick Bennett was still coaching Wisconsin, and it was like 45-40 or something in a national semifinal, Final Four game. That was crazy. Here's a ground ball to third. Makula has it. Up with it. Over to first. In time for the out.
Yep. Got on the good hop.
Yep. Just a 2-pitch at bat there. This Coyle continues deep into this game.
I always get spoiled by watching Major League Baseball, either in person or on TV. I always know the pitch count. And, it starts to play into this. It's a cool day, and Coyle has not had a lot of stressful pitches. That's a difference, right? You can have a high pitch count, but if it's not stress, it's just if not a lot of base runners on.
Yep.
But both coaches are thinking about their bullpen right now.
Goes for the bunt. Doesn't get it. Count will move to 1-1 on Steckow, the second baseman. Winding the pitch, breaking ball outside, 2-1.
That's what you expect when both teams throw their number ones or on that Friday weekend game of a weekend series. It's small ball and good defense, and then get to the bullpens, it gets a little crazy.
Didn't you have? We were talking about Jim Dieters. You had a Friday game where he went toe to toe with. Did he go toe to toe with Adrian's left-hander who also got drafted?
Nakovic?
Jack Nakovic?
They actually pitched him away from Jim. They pitched him the side.
But he won a Friday game down there at Adrian.
Yeah, and that's a game I thought he got drafted. We came from behind, and Jim pitched on short day's rest, went 8 strong innings.
And strike 3, breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. Boy, Coyle dealing there, 2 away.
Number 23, Robert Newland.
So Jim was pitching on short day's rest. He shut out Alma on Monday and then pitched
on Friday.
Get the
opener of that one, yeah.
And was throwing, got stronger as the game was long, and that's what really impressed the Indians, who were the only team there. And then later drafted him the Guardians now.
Newland at the plate, first pitch a strike. Yeah, well, I can remember some games that spring, his senior year, and having a number of scouts behind the plate with the radar guns. Yeah. Just don't see that. That's a good bunt. Coyle's not going to get there, and That'll be an infield base hit for Mr. Newland. Nice bunt.
Interesting.
Coyle kind of gave way,
Yeah.
and I maybe thought Makula was coming, and Makula was playing. I don't want to say deep,
But he wasn't playing bunt.
no, he was not. So a 2-out single there for Newland.
Because it wasn't a great bunt. It was a well-placed bunt.
Yep.
Right? So,
Well, and the grass is a little soft right now after the rain. You know, it's not one of those dry, dusty infields, so it did kind of deaden as it got past the pitcher's mound area.
it's our 4th hit.
Strike on the inside part of the plate to Rodriguez. With 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Knights lead at 3-0. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for Kalamazoo. 3 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for the Knights. Long look here. We're down to 2 on the pitch clock, and he decides to throw over to first base. So it just kind of stood out because you're so used to the quick tempo here by Mr. Coyle.
It's going to keep just a little eye on there, but can't be over-obsessed with a 3-run lead. You can work on the batter with 2 outs. There he goes.
Check swing, and going as the runner. Ooh, almost got away from Bonnemer.
Yeah.
He'll squeeze it.
Yeah, when Schumer couldn't grab it originally, that was pretty much fait accompli. And now, right back, Coyle's got to work, bear down, and the infield has to be thinking, this ball has to stay in the infield. Let's live to, the umpire's warning Coyle, don't go to your mouth too close to the mound. Wipe it off.
Yeah, that could be a balk,
But
you see pitchers get a little bit more levity nowadays with that.
yeah, they usually talk about that. They'll there's a good pitch. They'll talk about that to the pitchers on nights like this. Like, what am I going to what am I going to let go? You should not be able to go to your mouth at all, but it's also a safety thing, so you get a good grip on the baseball.
Swing and a miss.
Wow.
Oh, he reared back and blew it by him.
Oh, wow. That is a bulldog right there.
Nothing shy about that one. He just reared back and threw the gas, and the Knights keep the Hornets off the board again. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, the Hornets with 1 hit, they strand 1 runner, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. We might have
a new arm here.
Yeah,
I think so. Mike reported it as he came in.
I think we saw this young man pitch last year out of the pen for Kalamazoo. Let's see who we have here. Number 2, Carson. This might be Sokol. There's Gabe Sokol. There's 2 number 2s, and my understanding is this is Sokol. That's the way it was described to me by the sports information staff at.
Can you have 2 number 2s? I know you're kind of in offense and defense.
Yeah, well, we do here. So yeah, Sokol. I remember him pitching. It was either last year or the year before.
I'm going to try to give you his...
Looks like there's a new right fielder for Kalamazoo. Cam Kelly, I think, is in right field or in center field.
So I'll give you Gabe Sokol's line. This is his 3rd appearance, a 3.37 ERA. He's only gone 2.2 innings. He's given 3 hits up, 1 run, 1 earned run, and 3 strikeouts. Teams are hitting a very small sample size. And let the strategy of the last innings, I see another Kalamazoo.
Yeah, I think Lockhart moved over to right field. I saw him thrown out there, and then it's a new center fielder, Kelly, and I think he's in the batting order spot of Rodriguez. Pitch down low by
well, this is the group, right? Swope to Graham to Makula, who has produced 2 of the 3 runs. There's good.
Sokol out of Midland High School, Taylor Sanborn's high school, I believe.
Senior captain of the
softball team.
Group.
Yeah. There's a shot up towards second base, up with it. is Steckow, and on the first in time for the out, one away. So Swope was the leadoff hitter.
Number 46,
Brings up
Nate Graham.
Graham, who tripled his last time up and later came in to score. Knights have scored, let's see, once in the third, once in the fifth, and once in the sixth. Yep. First pitch in there for a strike. First run was kind of that funny play where the bases loaded and Hornets thought they had a double play but never stepped on first, so it ended up being a fielder's choice. Then you had the safety squeeze, and then you had a sacrifice fly. Here's a shot deep in the left field. It's got pretty good distance, and it is
gone
over the fence, but foul.
Oh,
boy, that's a tough call.
Boy, I don't know. Jeff, we're right on that line.
Well, it landed foul, but where it crossed the fence, we've got a fairly small foul pole there.
I'm going to get a pull from the press box here. See,
it might have been fair where it crossed the fence, but really hard to tell.
Wow, that's
he put a charge into it though.
Sure he did.
Just goes as a long strike though, and it's 0-2. There's a fly ball hit out toward right field.
That's where his triple went, but a little more carry.
Yeah, Lockhart will make the play. It's 2 away.
Wow, a little jolt of excitement here through there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough call to make for the third base umpire there when it's that high.
Yeah.
And where it crossed. Kerry Carpenter had a home run. It was the first run of the game in today's Tigers White Sox game, and they actually had to go to replay to show that it nicked the foul pole. They initially called it foul and then realized it was a home run. So he had stopped and was about ready to go back to the dugout, and they're like, nope, round the bases. So, we don't have instant replay here. And it hit him off the top of the shoulder. I'm not sure instant replay would have given you a definitive look on that long ball there unless you had an upper deck shot, and even then without...
we do not have an upper deck.
No, we do not. So it brings up Bonnemer. Now, is this a situation where you're thinking about running again?
Absolutely, right. And particularly if he gets behind in the count. We've seen both teams do this, right? You're trying to steal a run.
Pitch in there for a strike.
And McCullough also has to be thinking, if this is a double, I have to score. I'm on contact. I'm running. There he goes.
There he goes. Throw down to second base, and he is in there with a stolen base. I think that might have been a called strike. We'll see.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a called strike. And so now Bonnemer goes into his emergency, Rod Allen emergency stance here.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have that big hole between first and second like he did with the runner at first, but, it's the old choke and poke, and they're still fairly deep out there in the outfield. Down low and away, 1 and 2. Anything that lands out in that outfield grass with 2 outs, runner should be going on contact.
Yeah, you're going to be
at least going out into the outfield.
Sure, you're going to be really aggressive here too with the middle of the order coming up if he gets thrown out at.
Well, there's a pop-up drifting foul. I think that's going to get out of play, and it will.
One of the things we'd like to see here, and eventually we're always trying to make improvements, is we put that fence in, close the field in. Now we got to start thinking about a warning track.
Yep.
But
for a long time, you just had that line down the line, and people would just kind of sit just outside of the out of bounds territory, so you could have somebody catch it and then run out of bounds.
Bonnemer with 1 hit today in the first.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Seemed like the old Kalamazoo field up on top of the hill was kind of like that too.
It was.
There's a fly ball. It's going to go foul. Same direction, a little deeper this time. Look out. Oh, almost a one-handed grab.
Somebody from Ashley, Michigan is going to go home with that one.
Well, Bonnemer doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, good 2-out at bat here.
The pitch, down low, 3 and 2.
He won't be running because he's not forced to, but way to battle back.
Only 5:39, but it is kind of dark.
Yeah, this one might. If this gets tied up, I don't know what we're gonna.
Outside, he walked him.
What an at bat!
He battles back, and Ryan Brown at the plate. And boy, if he could get one in the gap, that might score a couple and really add some insurance.
And Ryan was the batter who hit the line drive that Reinhardt kind of fumbled and then scored the first run.
Yep.
Because he didn't step on first, and he was down 0-2 as well.
And there's a little bleeder, and
that's going to do it.
Steckow is going to be there and read it and snag it. So the Knights put a couple of runners aboard, but do not score. They stray in 2. We head to the top of the 8th inning. It's Kelvin 3 and Kalamazoo nothing. Checking in on the rest of those MIAA baseball scores. Now in the top of the 7th, Hope still leading Elma 2-1. Let's see if there's an update at Albion. Live stats says bottom of the 5th inning, Albion up 4-0 on Trine. Top of the 9th inning, and Adrian leading Olivet 5-1. So the Bulldogs, the home team, trying to close it out there, leading by 4.
So a lot of number ones going today. So you see a 2-1 game and a 5-1 and a shutout going
and
here.
Starting to get a little action in the bullpen for Calvin, and looks like somebody is warming in the Kalamazoo pen as well.
Yeah, they might go an inning and an inning here. Would love it if they only had to pitch one more inning. That means the Knights had done their job here. The Knights, I know that pitching coach Clark and Skipper, and they're going to watch closely here. He's I know no one he would love to Jack Morris this one, right? And that means Sparky never wanted to go out there and get the ball from Jack Morris because they just want to do it, and sometimes you have to protect the pitcher from themselves.
Yeah, well, he's at 102 pitches right now, Nolan Coyle.
Right. So I don't think he's gonna. They're gonna, if there's a big jam here, but if he can, grab the leadoff hitter and have a quick inning, and he's got. And here's the thing, right? He's got to be communicating with Skip and telling him, how he's feeling. Now, mature, he's gonna tell you, look, I want this. And sometimes I've had a pitcher say to me, hey, come and get me if I get a runner on. I mean, my gas tank is low, but if I get through on some savvy, but the way he ended that 7th with that fastball, he was pretty jacked up.
First pitch in there for a strike.
We're going through in the order here for the
Gabe Pricing is at the plate. Let's see.
It's probably like 6, 7, and 8.
I think that is right. Down there for a strike. Actually, number 9 hitter in the order, so we'll go 9-1-2.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to go through the heart here, right?
Yep. See if he goes right at him. He does, and strike 3.
Yep.
He stood there and took it, and I think Kalamazoo folks thought it was a little bit high.
Yep.
But our home plate umpire said not so fast. So 1 away for Mr. Coyle on 3 straight pitches. Brings up the leadoff man in the order, Cooper Mills. He is 1 for 3 on the day. In there for a strike, and that one was kind of up at the letters as well. And he did not like that call.
Nope.
He steps out of the box, has a look toward home, and now will step back in. Might have been a little high, to be honest with you. Down and away a ball, 1-1.
So they're going to try to work the counts here a little bit. But Coyle's getting the benefit of the doubt because he's had command most of the day. I always used to tell pitchers, if you're around the plate, I don't know what this stepping out stuff is, right? Coyle's ready to go, and they're stepping out a lot.
Trying to get him out of his rhythm. That one was a little high, 2-1. Yeah, I think they're stepping out just he's been pitching it.
But
yeah.
It's the cat and mouse game here.
Yep.
They don't want to try to disrupt. They've
swing and a miss. 2-2.
And Jeff, you mentioned to the viewers at home, it's a little dark, and I'm telling you, it is. for this time of day, and so
Yeah, 540.
The hitters are having, I think, a little tough time picking it up.
Ooh, boy, that was close. I was going to say striking the outside corner, but just a little outside, so the count runs full.
I'm going to have to check this after. That's a stepping out stuff. I obviously legal, but.
Strike 3. He got him. Cooper Mills did not like the call. He had taken all of his equipment off, was going to head down to first base, and home plate umpire said that was strike 3. 2 away. Brings up Lockhart. A strike right down the middle.
Yeah, you knew that was going to be a strike right now. There's somebody might have some. It's going to get a little Riley there in the bullpen, or the dugout. They are chirping for you quite a bit.
Swinging a foul. 0-2.
This is the number 2 hitter,
yep.
right? Lockhart. And love to lead off the inning with their big bopper.
Ground ball, foul. Just hooked foul down the line.
Right, so
yep.
This is a big out because whether Coyle comes out in the 9th or not, you'd like to have, you always want to face the best hitter with no one on. So even if they do hit a home run.
He's at 112 pitches.
Yeah, that's a
pretty good number for any starting pitcher. Ooh, just got a piece of it on the check swing on the high hard when he went back to the high heat. Try to finish him off like he finished the 7th inning there.
Try not to, you got to stay motionless, right, as best you can. Execute your pitches.
And he had a little too much there.
Right, he may know this is his last batter, and maybe they don't want him to face Reinhardt, so sometimes
swing and a miss, and a big fist pump. Coyle is fired up.
Yes, he is.
No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left for Kalamazoo there in the top of the 8th inning. Calvin leading it 3-0. Well, Jim, I was telling you about that World War II book I'm reading, Tailspin. It's got a little interesting Major League Baseball angle to it. So one of the, I'm in the part of the book where these downed airmen are in German prisoner of war camps, and one of the downed airmen, actually, he went down over Berlin on D-Day, June 6, 1944, was Augie Donatelli, who went on to a storied Major League Baseball umpiring career from 1950 to 1973. And he actually was the one that organized, he was in the National League for his 23-year Major League career, and kind of organized what became the Major League Baseball Umpires Union. And he was already umpiring baseball games in the prison of war camp. He had broken his ankle coming down in the parachute there, and so he really couldn't run all that well when they were playing in these prison of war baseball games. So he was always a pretty good judge of character and making quick decisions, and so they made him the de facto umpire, and he ended up going to baseball umpiring school in the GI Bill after World War II, and kind of was the trailblazer for today's Major League Baseball umpiring. I think he had 4 or 5 World Series that he worked, so interesting. Ryan Schumer, first pitch is a ball. Sokol still in there pitching for the Hornets.
Schumer scored the last run after a single, a pass ball. Gets him to a swinging bunt by Seth and a pass ball and a sacrifice fly. And Schumer trying to do the same thing to get some more insurance runs.
In the dirt, 2-1. Yeah, well, the Knights would love another run or two.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. Bottom of the 8th. Kelvin leads at 3-0 on Kalamazoo. Fastball, a strike on the outside part of the plate.
And that one may be an ode to the high strike of last inning.
Yep.
So
Yeah, well, sometimes the strike zone changes a little bit, and you just have to adjust. Oh, he's well out in front. It's going to drift toward the bullpen area, and that's out of play. Bullpen had a scatter. The right fielder actually ran into the bullpen, but that is out of bounds.
So, when we put the bullpens there, you always wondered, you put a fence there, right?
I think you did the right thing the way you have it.
Right. Well, we thought because of the tight corner there, and so, but they got to help them out because you hit that mound. So it's a little Wrigley Field-ish. I don't think they're there anymore.
Here's a ground ball out toward second base. Steckow, he's been busy. Flips to first in time for the out. One away.
Cam Seth.
Brings up Cam Seth, who's 0 for 3 in the afternoon. Came over to Kelvin 1 year at Grand Rapids.
From the audio part of it, there's a fastball. As inside corner, Seth is now down 1-2.
With one out here, actually 2-2.
I'm sorry, Gabe Sokol in his second inning of work.
He just missed, so 3-2.
So like I said, we'll keep talking, and if the camera's stuck or whatever, we'll
Yeah, I think we're good.
all right.
So pitch is outside, ball 4. I think I was just following our live stream. Our remote with the camera got stuck, so the camera itself was stuck in a particular angle. Our audio was fine, but looks like they've got that rectified.
And we got to thank the people in IT. They do such a big job. I mean, we have lots of events, right? So you have volleyball going tonight. They'll broadcast that one, and we got to get ready for softball, and everybody's busy.
So Ryan Shearhart is pinch running at first base after the one-out walk to Seth.
Well, that kind of eliminates Seth, I think, from coming in into relief at any time, right?
Yeah, you're probably right. I think they might be saving him for tomorrow in some shape or form.
Oh, yeah.
He could potentially start a game.
So I think it's DeAngelis out there.
It looks like it. Yeah, Alex DeAngelis, number 3. Pitch outside, 1-1. No, 2-0.
He closed the last game.
Yeah, he looked really good. It'd be the heart of the order up for the Hornets.
It wouldn't. Of course it would be, right? It always is. No, that.
A strike at the knees, 2-1.
Good hit and run count. If you feel like Mason can do that, then
Over to first, Shearhart gets back.
the Hornets thinking the same thing, right?
It's like Hope up 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Looks like Adrian has got going on the play, and Shearhart will have a stolen base as the pitch was dropped. Not sure the catcher had much of a play.
No, he had a good jump. I don't think he was going to throw him out anyway, but
So runner in scoring position, and 3-1 is the count. Adrian's got 2 outs. They're 1 out away from defeating Olivet there. Up 5-1 in the top of the 9th. in the dirt, gets away, and that'll move up Shearhart to third base. So Mason's got a walk, and Shearhart at third, runners at the corners.
Batting number 8, Matt
He
Reynolds.
will see. We've got Matt Reynolds now. Reynolds, he had that safety squeeze bunt back on Tuesday. You could play it that way.
Yeah, a couple managers ago, that is John Sparks. What is that? That was 3 managers ago, 2. I can't keep him track. Anyway, he loved the first and third safety squeeze.
Yep.
He loved it because he said, worst case scenario, right? I got a runner on second, knock that runner in. I think they're going to talk about this, and the Knights are going to talk about it as well.
The one thing, if you do the safety squeeze, you kind of eliminate that double play ball up the middle.
Correct.
Take that out of play, but is this a pitcher that you can get a bunt down on? I would think you probably could.
Yeah.
You got a pretty good candidate to do that at the plate, but we'll see what the defense displays as well. They might be right in on top of Reynolds, and
correct.
Then it's maybe hit away.
So the question is, right, that
I think they're going to play for 2 up the middle.
they are, and what I'm wondering is if, the longer this inning goes, the more likely we won't see Coyle, and I don't know if we're going to see him anyway, right?
It's about 115, 16 pitches right now.
Right, and you're like, man, we got to live to fight another day, and then we got a 3-4 run lead. Our bullpen's got to get 3 outs, and so that's nerve wracking after a kid had such great command.
The bunt is down. First baseman has it, and he's going to tag him, and he just runs him over. Reinhardt just came running full bore. I think he came in really hard on the charge, and
right.
I think his intent was to tag him rather than try to flip, which is actually a smart play with his momentum, and then he just couldn't hold up at the last minute, and you had a collision there.
Well, executed on both hands, and a little bit more executed on Kalamazoo's part there, and that was not a safety squeeze. They were coming.
Yep.
So that was a squeeze right off the bat. Now, and
still got Mason out there at second base.
See if Swope can pick up a 2-run, 2-out hit here.
Breaking ball in there for a strike by Sokol. The pitch, fouled back over the screen.
But we haven't said that a lot. We haven't had a lot of foul balls.
No, we haven't.
Usually I'm worried about
all the baseballs being lost.
Being lost, but we haven't had a lot. Both pitchers been kept the ball in the field. See if we can get a.
Here's the pitch and another one back behind us.
I jinxed it. I'm looking for more baseballs, and Swope's now got to get in that emergency stance and see if he can find the green.
Yeah, bloop it out there. Oh, 2 pitch, here it comes. And did they hit him? Boy, apparently it did not. I thought it nicked him right on the backside there, but apparently it did not.
Yeah, so there's what Kalamazoo says. Take your emergency stance. We're going to make you move your feet. And now we'll come back something.
Well, he is in tight on the plate. And there's a little bleeder up the middle. It's going to get through. And that's going to bring a run home. He got his hands out there and hit a bounding ball, single up the middle, and it's 4-0. And another big insurance run for the Knights.
Yeah, and I know, having been there, right, Joel, Coach Skipper, is thinking, man, way to pick me up. Because, when you put a squeeze on, it doesn't work. You kind of kick yourself. Looking for that 4th run, and Swope picked him up there and picked up the team. And it's not that. Boy, and this is Graham, and he's seen the ball well today.
He is.
Yeah, he had the triple, and he's also had that ball that could have been a home run. And see if they can produce another 2-out hit.
Throw over to second, back in time. They like to throw to second base, those timing plays.
Yeah.
Now, DeAngelis is warming pretty aggressively, so you got to think he's going to come on here in the ninth for the Knights.
Yeah, it's been a long inning. You know, you might give him one batter. You might give
Yeah, I don't think so. Here's a shot into the corner, and it is a fair ball. And that'll score one. It might score two. They're going to send Swope. No, they're going to hold him at third base. And that might have been the right call. Makes it 5-0. Pretty good job by Lockhart out there in right field to get on top of that one and relay it into the second baseman.
Right. So
a huge hit for Graham, man. A triple and a double.
I know, almost home run. I don't know, that's kind of half a cycle there. But I tell you what, good job by Kalamazoo. They're playing deep, no doubles defense. And while it was a double, it prevented Swope. Swope, I was worried he fell. If you didn't see that on camera, as we put the brakes on, slipped on the moist grass, and sure enough, here comes a new relief pitcher for Kalamazoo. And we'll try to get you his numbers as Jeff identifies who that is.
It's a right-hander. I think that is number 4, Eric Shepard, sophomore out of Kent, Michigan. Salem High School grad. Yep.
Yeah, so he's this will be his 4th appearance, a 7.71 ERA, 2.1 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs in that time, and 1 strikeout. So, again, not a huge sample size, but one of those, 1 inning type guys that every team has. And so he'll come on with runners at second and third and facing number 9 hitter here. McCullough.
Yeah, if Coyle is done, the line on him today, it's pretty impressive. 9 strikeouts.
4 hits?
Yeah, 4 hits allowed, no walks. 117 total pitches, 29 batters faced, 3 strikeouts looking. You can't ask for a whole lot more than that from a senior starter in the opener of a 3-game series.
No, and what you want is everyone down in that bullpen saying, hey, we got to get 3 outs as fast as we possibly can, and don't count anything.
Nope.
So it's everyone has to stay maintained, because if it takes us 5 pitchers to get 3 outs, we don't care.
Yep.
Because it's not going to be a lot of pitches, and we go into tomorrow's doubleheader at Davenport University. Thank you to Davenport for helping the MIAA out here. And short trip for
Calvin.
For Calvin and families and friends. So
Yeah, just going down the Beltline about
I will
7 miles.
At the softball game tomorrow and then head out there after that.
Yep. So Shepard winds and delivers. Oh, there's 2 more big runs still out there, Jim.
Man.
Another base hit would really break this one open.
Yep, I'd love that.
Breaking ball down low, a ball, 1-1.
Third baseman playing even.
Yep.
With 2 outs. I don't think we're going to squeeze here, but boy, if he gets something right past him.
The pitch. Down low, 2-1.
Now he backs up a little bit. Playing him pretty way straight away. I don't know if they have a huge book on him yet. He's only a...
Fastball should be in there. It is for a strike. Just looking at the weather, there's some clouds coming in through the southern portion right down near the border. Here's a shot. Well, even up right there to the third baseman. He throws over to first in the dirt, but picked up by Reinhardt. And the Hornets get out of the inning, but not before the Knights get 2 more runs. They do strand a couple of runners, but they head to the 9th with a 5-0 lead. Looking at the other scores in the MIAA, that's partly why I was checking out the weather. It doesn't look like there's any imminent rain over there at Adrian, but they've been stuck with 2 outs in the top of the 9th for a while. So might be a situation where the stats just didn't finish up. They're also stuck in the bottom of the 5th at Albion. Albion up 4-0 on Trine. So again, it's another reason why I wondered if there isn't a little bit of weather that's happening to those schools that are a little bit south of here. But I don't see anything on my radar that looks imminent. If you look down into the south central Chicago area, there's some weather that's starting to push up. We are supposed to get rain here later tonight and into tomorrow morning. I think it's one of the reasons why we're going to Davenport tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and I think Kalamazoo's field, which was saturated, and they're expected to get more rain down than we are.
On the southern half,
the
right.
Southern half, right? And so Coach Otten and his staff trying to get the game ready felt like, hey, let's assure this, particularly with Calvin's no Sunday play, to try to get these games in and not push to next week. And again,
well, especially with snow maybe coming in on Monday.
So DeAngelis closed out the last game for the Knights, a 4-2-2, 7 appearances, all in relief, 3 saves, 10 innings pitched, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 6 runs, 5 earned, 11 strikeouts, and if he has command, he's got the stuff.
Reinhardt at the plate. Down low a ball. Nobody working in the pen for Calvin.
Nope. And this is where you want to say, hey, we are going to grab the leadoff hitter the best we can. Knights played a big, as far shift as you possibly can play.
Down low, 2-0.
I do know this. They are probably taking a strike down 5.
Yep.
They're going to prove, let's see if Alex can prove that he can throw enough strikes. They can read the stats just as well as we can.
Strike right down the middle, 2-1.
Good hard fastball. Now we're playing, right?
DeAngelis out of Salem High School. I think that's the same high school that Shepard went to. So he's 2 relief pitchers on both sides. Former high school teammates, I'm assuming.
Down there, is that down
near the Ann Arbor area,
yeah,
just a bit outside.
Yeah, the I-23 corridor. The Salines and the Brightons and the...
Yep, kind of going toward Detroit, between Detroit and Ann Arbor, more or less. The pitch, swing and a miss.
Boy, he was sitting dead right at fastball right there on a 3-1 count. And Alex jumps back into the count here. A lot of nerves everywhere, and see if the Knights can.
Ground ball up the middle. They had him shaded perfectly. Bonham over to first in time for the out. That might have been ball 4.
Yeah.
That was down near maybe a little below the knees, and he did not want to risk it on 3-2 with swinging, and they had him shaded perfectly.
Is this a different hitter here, 13? I don't. That's probably not right.
No, Caleb Moore, I believe, is the catcher.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So a big first out.
But here, right? Is that a?
Yeah, on deck, Tanner Hawkins. No, he's been up.
Boy,
he's been in the lineup. So
getting old here. Just trying to look. Good, jumped out ahead.
DeAngelis trying to get these last 2 outs. That one down low, 1-1.
And you know what? I have to say this, right? And any good pitching performance, and the Knights have had 8 1/3 of good. And Ryan Schumer's done a nice job.
He has.
I know he's not calling pitches.
Scored a key run too on that sac fly.
Right.
Good breaking ball there by DeAngelis. 1-2. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if there's not a little rain going on because that Albion Trine game has been stuck.
Oh.
And
2-2.
The Adrian Olivet game is stuck in the ninth.
Well, Knights will.
Ground ball foul.
Oh, nice play by somebody in the dugout over there.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Top of the ninth. Kelvin up 5-0. The pitch. Ground ball out towards short. Swope has it. Throws over to first in time for the out. And what do we have here?
He thought it hit.
The runner just stopped, and did he think that it hit his foot or something?
Boy, that ball came out too hard to.
Yeah, well, he just stopped, but regardless, it's an out. So 2 away.
Tanner Hawkins.
So Tanner Hawkins at the plate.
So now, can the Knights get this last one in? And now you start thinking about things like a shutout. You know, the win's the most important thing here. But with 2 outs in the 9th, what a nice win to start the weekend. They can close it out here.
In there for a strike again to Hawkins. Well, it looks like I just pulled it up. Adrian did defeat Olivet 5-1, so that is a fun. Here's the pitch. Foul. Ooh, off of Schumer's hand. Hit a little bit of the glove and then the fingertips. That's why they call it what? The tools of ignorance and all that kind of thing.
Oh, boy, on a cold day.
Yep.
We're rolling.
Doesn't feel great.
Oh, and those are the kind that. Yep, he's trying to get the feeling. See him slap his leg there.
Yep.
Trying to get the feeling back in his hand.
Stings.
All right, let's see if we can finish this one off.
He's going to go right at him here. 0-2. Here it comes. And he does. Oh, just outside.
Seeing that with our maroon and gold goggles right there.
Yeah.
But we were hoping. Good composure by Alex coming in here. Those extra runs might have helped.
The pitch in the dirt.
A good job by Schumer, right? You with 2 strikes, you got to go block that
Yep.
just in case we get the check swing and it's not back to the.
The set and the pitch. In the dirt again, 3-2.
We want to take all.
Yeah, I got to think that he's just going to come with a fastball right down the middle and challenge him.
I think you do that until they put a couple runners on base. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Go after him.
The pitch. Ground ball toward short. 2-hopper to Swope. Long throw to first. In time.
How about that?
And the Knights with a shutout win. A combined shutout between Coyle and DeAngelis, and Kelvin takes the opener against Kalamazoo. And that will keep Kelvin up in first place early on in the MIAA standings. They move to 11-10 overall, 4-1 in the MIAA. And as we mentioned, a doubleheader tomorrow at Davenport, scheduled for 1 and 4 o'clock. I think Kalamazoo is going to try to produce some type of video broadcast, at the very least an audio broadcast. As they're going to move equipment over to a different facility. But a big win there, Jim, for Kelvin in the opener.
Absolutely. Anytime you can win the first game of a series, and you're trying to win as many series as you can. We talked about it earlier, and congratulations to Coyle, Nolan. That's what a number one's supposed to do. He was up to the task today, and it's not always going to be that. You always say sometimes you have your best stuff, but he had good stuff today.
He had great stuff,
and he had great stuff in command.
Yep,
and a competitive spirit.
I was going to say the poise part,
right? And the how he finished the 7th and how he finished the 8th. I think he inspires his team. So long way to go in this series, but it also saves your pitchers, right? If you get a 10, crazy game going here, now you got 18 innings tomorrow, and so there you go. And again, Jeff, thanks you for doing this, and it's been a good ride. I know you'll sum up the stats for everyone at home. I'm gonna
absolutely
head on out.
Yep. All right.
We'll see you.
Thanks to Jim for stopping on in. The line totals here for Kalamazoo: no runs, 4 hits, no errors. For Kelvin, 5 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Very timely plays to score. They got 1 in the 3rd on the situation where it was a fielder's choice with the bases loaded. Kalamazoo thought they had a double play, didn't step on first, unfortunately for their side, and that allowed the first run to come across. Run number 2 came across for Kelvin in the 5th on a safety squeeze bunt. Then run number 3 came across in the 6th. Ryan Schumer had singled and then later moved to 3rd on a wild pitch, scored on a sacrifice fly. The The throw actually had gotten there in time, but was perhaps a bit high. Catcher couldn't come down with it cleanly to try to make the sweep tag. So 3-0 there. And then 2 big insurance runs in the 8th inning as the Knights, with a big 2-out hit, making it 5-0 and going on to win this game. Let's see here at the plate. Noah, Mr. Swope here, who played some excellent shortstop, had 2 hits and 4 trips to the plate. Noah Swope also had 1 RBI. And then Mr. Graham, Nate Graham, 2 for 4, had a double and a triple, 1 run batted in, and also scored a run. Makula, I believe, is the one that had the squeeze bunt that brought home Kelvin's 2nd run. So those are some of your offensive highlights. Gabe Bonnemer had a hit and on base 3 other times by way of the walk. So he was an offensive force as well. And then, of course, the big story was the pitching. Nolan Coyle, what a great pitching performance. Threw shutout ball last week against Olivet, and then 8 more shutout innings here again today, striking out 9 batters, allowing only 4 hits and 8 innings of work, if I can spit that out. And then Alex DeAngelis coming on, pitching a 1-2-3 ninth, shutting the door, and the Knights winning this one 5-0. I want to thank the folks back in the video productions booth. They worked really hard on this one. We had a few technical things that they had to fix, and they came right out here early in the game and fixed them, and then had a few other things late in the game that they were doing a lot of stuff to make this broadcast work, and we thank them for that. Until our next broadcast, we'll tell you so long.